Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Hey everyone, so happy you can join us for the Love Everyone podcast.
With your hosts, Govind Das and Rama Chandra Das.
A conversation of love, devotion, and walking the path of Bhakti Yoga. Hey everybody, welcome to the Love Everyone podcast. My name is Govind Das.
And my name is Rama Chandra Das, and we are so grateful to be here once again. This is episode 25.
Oh my gosh, 25. How great is this, brother? We get to keep it going, man. Let's keep it going.
I love it. I love it. I'm still loving it. In fact, I love it even more.
And I keep asking, is anybody listening? But people are saying they love it. People keep sending me message, say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. So here we are, 25 episodes in.
Yeah, I think I got something from some podcast. It was like some podcast spam, but somebody's trying to sell us something, boost our numbers or whatever. But they said, and I haven't confirmed this, they said we're number 23 in spirituality.
I think that's not true. Do you know how many spiritual podcasts there are out there? We're number 23.
Number 23.
If that were the case, that would be something to celebrate. Thousands and thousands of spiritual podcasts.
Oh, well, who knows? Who knows?
That's classic.
Well, you think so? You think they were lying? You mean what? Lying to like get something out of me?
Well, you said it was spam. You're the one that I would have believed it if they just said, "Hey, I got an email," But yeah.
Well, I mean, it just was some, unsolicited email from some podcast boost company,
This is the world we live in now. Oh, I don't want to be negative, but because this is the Love Everyone podcast.
That's right.
People that send us these crazy emails.
Yeah, it's kind of constant though, But hey, these are great opportunities to practice loving everyone. You get an email from somebody and you're like, oh, this dude is obviously trying to scam me. I love you. I love you, man. I'm not quite there yet, but
I'm not there yet either.
Yeah. Hey, so what's new? I love the marigolds. I mean, what's Hanuman wearing today? He's got a little purple outfit on.
A little purple. I changed him this morning, wrapped him up. I'm loving this new dress. Dress the deity, Bhakti Sadhana. Makes me feel like it was a thought because it's been very cold here. It's wintertime, lots of rain, and I was thinking maybe I should put some more clothes on him because he's getting, he needs to be warm. But I don't know, I just love this purple so much, and it really just made his whole being just happy. So I kept the purple.
Nice. That's beautiful. Cool. My Hanumans are pretty naked over here. I haven't reached the I dress my deity level of bhakti, I guess.
Uh,
Oh, what are you gonna do?
try it. You'll love it.
I will. What I did though is the last time I went to India, I was gone for a few weeks or like 5 weeks or something. So I took a really nice fabric and I just completely wrapped him and just kind of said good night, I'll see you in a few weeks. And that felt good. I liked that.
Yeah. Did you cover his face, everything?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that okay? I don't know. Did I
think
break?
so. I do the same thing every day when I'm done in here. I cover him actually.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, when you go to temple and then they close the curtains. It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, Hanuman needs to rest.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I'm so looking forward to seeing you, brother. It's going to be really soon.
Oh my gosh, you starting your tour this weekend?
That's right. Yeah. So by the time this podcast comes out, we'll be fully ensconced. We'll be actually when this podcast comes out, we'll be driving to LA and getting closer to seeing you, and then we'll have our Hanuman Chalisa immersion.
What do you think we're gonna do at the Hanuman Chalisa immersion? What would you think? What's the plan?
Isn't the plan just to sing lots of Hanuman Chalisas?
Maybe sing some Sri Ram Jai Rams? What do you think about that? Some
What do you
Sita.
think if we just got there and people say, "Hey, what's going to happen?" We say, "We're just going to sing 108 Hanuman Chalisas today, and then we're going to sing 108 Chalisas tomorrow."
2 days in a row. How great would that be?
Wow.
That sounds like a
Yeah.
lot.
I'm not sure we could pull it off time wise, though.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But look, we're going to sing a lot of chalisas. Everybody
Yeah.
come join us. We're going to meet. The weather's supposed to be beautiful. Encinitas. Come join us if you get this before the if you're listening to this before the immersion. It's February 28th and March 1st. And we're meeting 10 to 4. Is that what it is?
I
10 to
think
4?
so. Sounds right. Yeah. Yeah. And 2 days in a row, just nonstop Chalisas talking about Neem Karoli Baba. It's basically going to be an expanded version of the Love Everyone podcast, is what I think it's really going to be.
2 days straight. How great is that? And then we have Kirtan Saturday night. Big Maha Kirtan.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
So come join us if you can. We'd love to have you all.
Yeah. So, what else is new? Anything?
Everything's great, man. Everything is great. I just got back from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Had a wonderful weekend there. Tomorrow morning heading off to Vancouver. Just being a kirtan missionary, bro. I mean, that's it.
Spreading the good word.
Spreading the holy name in
Oh,
service of the holy name.
yeah.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
What else is there? What else is there?
It's a blessing to be a servant of the holy name. And I just keep thinking about this quote from Anandamayi Ma. Are we ready for our first hit of LSD?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We're just jumping right into it. Let's do it.
Oh, sure, why not?
Why not? Yeah, I told you that's my new
Why
catchphrase
not? Why not? Why
for
not?
2026, man. It's just why not?
Says, take it from me. In chanting the holy name, nothing is impossible in your life.
Mm.
Gosh, that's how powerful these names are. It's really, I mean, I know you lead a lot of kirtan workshops as well too, and we we share about the power of this holy name with commonly people that are new to kirtan or just love kirtan, but they don't have a lot of the deeper kirtan philosophy understanding. And I always think, does this sound dogmatic? Like
Mm.
if you chant the name, then nothing is impossible in your life? Like, I hope not. I don't want it to come off like that. I'm just trying to share what this tradition says.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the name it's not dogmatic because it's not even just specific to this lineage. The name has had that power and even in other religions as well. So I don't know. I mean, dogmatic, that doesn't feel like quite like the right word. I think the big one is like for most people, I mean, even myself, in my, in in my worst moments, just having the faith that that's true, I think is the biggest challenge. People say, oh, what do you mean? Just why you say Ram, 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 and then you can do anything. That feels a little bit, that takes a lot. That takes a lot of faith. And it takes a lot. And I think you actually have to, and it's experiential faith in the sense that you have to practice it. And then you have to see you have to have those kind of moments where that, is revealed to you and all of that. So I think, yeah, so I don't know about I don't know about dogmatic, because what does dogmatic say is like more like, well, how would you define dogmatic?
I don't know, like you do this and follow this, and you will be saved, or whatever the outcome is, some spiritually elevated outcome. Um, but it takes having faith in a certain practice. But as you were talking, I was like, do you even have to have faith
Mm.
to do everything? Maybe you just do it and let amazing things happen in your life, you know? But I guess if you're going to at least start chanting the name, you have to have some kind of faith that
Uh,
something good will happen or come from it.
yeah, what's going to give you the inspiration to be like, if you like, I don't believe you at all, but I'm still going to sit down for an hour and do some Ram Japa.
Yeah.
You know, hey, do you want to hear what Guru Google says the word dogma means?
Yeah,
This
please.
is interesting because I think this word gets used a lot.
Yeah.
And as we were talking about it, I was like, hold on a second. Do I even know what this word means? It refers to a system of principles or tenets, especially religious ones. And here's the part that maybe it doesn't feel dogmatic, is held as unquestionably true and authoritative, come on, say that word for me. Authoritatively laid down by an institution like a church, but it can also mean any strong, unquestioned belief in philosophy. And it's often used pejoratively for ideas resistant to rational discussion. So you say, oh, yeah. And I suppose to a rationalist, you say, oh, repeat the name of Ram and, all things are possible. The rationalist will be like, oh, well, that's just dogma. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that, yeah. I think maybe people probably do consider that dogma.
Yeah.
Mm.
But to those who know, they know. So
And I love what Baba says. He says, like, well, if you don't chant the name, like, what are you going to do?
but he even says chant it. He's not, he just says you don't have to chant it with faith.
Mm-hmm.
Says even in even in anger,
Yeah.
chant the name. It will ultimately bear the fruit of bliss, is one of his quotes.
Wow. Yeah.
So he's not saying, oh, when you chant, you have to chant it with faith every time. But
Mm.
I do think there is something about when you chant, if you're doing it from a sincere place, maybe in the moment, there's a feeling that comes, an energy that comes with that, a spiritual feeling that comes
Mm.
when you chant very sincerely and with real love in your heart. So
I think that to me, like when I chant Ram, is I feel like I like kind of tap into it. To me, it brings me to Hanuman, and then and I feel the feeling tone of Hanuman's courage, and then of course with enough courage, you know, then the insurmountable feels achievable because we don't, so much of why we don't achieve things or what holds us back is our fear, you know so that's kind of what I get out of it a lot of times, is like just that sense of courage.
beautiful. I've been doing my job as I'll do a round of Ram, then a round of Sita Ram, and then a round of Hanuman.
Oh, I love that.
And I'll just keep going and
Ah,
flow. And they interesting, as you just said, they all offer a slightly different quality when you meditate on them. And obviously even the sound and vibration of it as well too. But what I meditate on when I'm chanting Ram really is just formless divinity, blue sky, vast, open, all-powerful, supreme source, love. But then when I'm chanting Sitaram, I'm meditating on heaven and earth coming together in this very life in the physical world. Like Ram has come down to Sita. So it's God here is here present on earth. And then Hanuman, I'm meditating on. I just love Hanuman so much. Just like all of the great, moving mountains and jumping over oceans and doing the impossible. And this is what we're invoking inside of ourselves. So this is recent. This has been just about a month or two that I've been,
Hmm.
actually since the beginning of the new year that I started doing that.
So let me ask you this. What do you think about the people that say you were not supposed to tell us about your mantra?
Oops, shit. Well, I think that's um, if
Supposed
you
to keep it secret. You're supposed to keep it just to
and that's
yourself.
the guru has given you your personal mantra that is your key that unlocks the door to God. But ours is, Maharaji is, I think, I know he did. He gave Badri a personal mantra. And he told me that mantra. But
Audrey told you the mantra,
yeah, that Maharaji gave him.
but he wasn't supposed to tell you the mantra.
I
Or
don't know if he was or wasn't, but he told me. Um,
should we
but
tell everybody at the Love Everyone podcast?
tell everyone what mantra Maharaji gave Badri.
I mean, he's not supposed to tell anybody, but we
We can blow it,
we
right?
can do whatever we want.
And there's like, there's that human thing, like when you're not supposed to tell, you want to tell,
Oh,
even
I know. Maybe that's part of the tapasya of it too.
I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay, all right, okay. And then hey, everybody out there, I'll tell you guys later on social media.
A
Okay.
separate session. Secret love everyone podcast session.
Yeah. Yeah, because I
But
tell people all the time. I always to people say, "What do you do?" And I don't have any. I've never had that feeling of like needing to keep it secret. But again, I mean, I'm just most of the time just chanting Ram, and this is, this is just what Baba just told us all, and say specifically me.
yeah.
You know, he said everybody should be doing it. So what I picked up on.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I think with these kinds of public mantras like this, we can talk about how we're doing it. And, I don't know, maybe somebody feels just inspired from what I said, like, oh yeah, I'll do a round of Ram, a round of Sita Ram, a
Mhm.
round of Hanuman. Like, how great. If that has some bit of help for somebody, why would I try to keep that secret?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do understand, like the guru whispers the mantra in your ear, and those are the ones that are said to be like secret and don't ever
Yeah.
share it. Because I do feel sometimes when you share secrets, it kind of the energy leaks out of it a bit. So
Yeah. I think you could say that about almost anything,
yeah,
you know. Back when I used to do a lot of writing and write screenplays and things, a lot of times I always had to balance it because there was a part of me that liked to like talk out the story, right? Because I would have ideas literally as I'm talking, because it's kind of like as I'm talking, I'm making it up even, and things are coming out. But then there was always a point where it's like, I need to stop talking because if I keep talking, it's just going to get diffused. I need to actually write it down,
great.
you know? So maybe that's a similar kind of idea. It's like that if you just talk about it too much, it gets, it dissolves and or diffused.
Shakti kind of diminishes.
Yeah, I don't know. That's always been a question that I've had because I think that's the difference between Neem Karoli Baba lineage in general as opposed to a lot of other ones is like you don't hear a whole lot of this kind of talk
Yeah.
from Baba,
Yeah.
whereas in a lot of other lineage, there's some pradayas you do hear like kind of the rules, and that's dogma, and that's why I loved Baba so much. Was Baba was just, bad mash. He was just rascal. He just, he he would curse, you know, all that stuff. I was like, oh, okay, this guy can be my guru.
Taking acid. Right. Ram Dass gave him acid. That's baby.
Do you think he did, or did you think he just threw it over his shoulder?
Of course he took it. I think he did.
I know. Of course he did. I
Dude, I'm
mean,
so tripping. I'm looking at you on the Zoom screen and I'm just seeing like palm trees and sunshine behind you. It looks like you're in Bali or something like this, but
oh yeah, I'm in Costa Rica, bro.
Costa Rica, Costa Rica.
Pura vida. No, I'm not. Just the sun has popped out. It's right behind me. So those of you watching on YouTube, sorry about the dramatic lighting.
Makes you look very moody, the whole thing.
Do I look moody or do I look mystical? I,
Mystical. You
I
have
don't want to
black
look
out of
moody.
your head.
I don't want to look moody. I want to look mystical and
Spiritual?
spiritual. Oh, I definitely want to look spiritual. Hey, why do you think I wear these beads around my neck, dude?
Hey,
Hey,
Tulsi, Tulsi.
it's not because I want to look spiritual.
Are you sure? Are you sure about
I'm
that?
not sure about that. I'm not sure about anything. As our brother Greg likes to say, the only thing I know is that I don't know. I mean, that just gets more and more true.
You're just living, bro. You're just living.
Trying to do the best I can,
Just living.
trying to love everyone, including myself, including myself.
We have to say that 3 times.
Yes, yes, we do. I have to. I don't know about you, but I definitely have to. I have to say it 3 times every 5 minutes these days.
Dude, I'm not kidding. There's a beam of light coming out of your right shoulder right now.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Now it's in your heart. Now it's at your third eye.
Coming out of my third eye.
Dude, did you just get enlightened?
Hey, I did get enlightened on Sunday. I had a Shivratri meditation that was like none other. I was sitting out in the backyard and the sun came out and I was just, oh my God. And of course, I've forgotten everything that I.
Wait, you just said one thing, Shivratri. You didn't say Shivaratri. What is that all about?
Oh,
One. And I thought Shivaratri was at night, not when the sun's shining and you're laying out in the
it was
backyard.
Indian. I was on Indian time, bro. and I think Shivratri and Shivaratri are the same thing.
Oh, they are. Okay. The Shivaratri.
Sometimes you see it spelled with no A,
Shivaratri.
and sometimes you see it spelled with an A.
Yeah.
You, are you messing with me right now?
I love messing with you, man.
Wait, are you messing with me right now?
Yeah.
No, but Shivratri was amazing, wasn't it?
Wait, you just said it again.
I did. I like to say it Shivratri. How do you say it?
I say Shivaratri,
Yeah, you say Shivaratri, I say Shivratri. So you say tomato, I say tomato. What's the difference?
but it was great this year, huh?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we had a Saturday night kirtan and then a Sunday morning kirtan, and then I fasted all day, and then that later in that afternoon I had that meditation in the backyard, and it was just like
Yeah.
loved it.
I had some.
It's maybe my favorite Indian holiday.
Really? More than Hanuman Jayanti?
There's just something about just I don't know. There's something about Shivaratri. Shivaratri.
Mystical, dude. There's a mystical vibe. I would just
Yeah,
sat through midnight and meditated for hours, just repeating Om Namah Shivaya. There is something mystical.
I love it.
I do too.
And every year it seems
Been
like
in
it's
India during. I want to be in India during Shivaratri.
yeah. Well, I mean, it would have been a good year to go because they started that Rishikesh Kirtan Fest early this year too. So
That.
already rolling. It's 6 weeks this year.
I wonder if they chanted any Om Namah Shivaya then.
Probably not. Probably not. Maybe. Maybe. You never
Probably
know.
not.
No, Madhava does an Om Namah Shivaya.
I've never heard him.
Really? I saw a video of him doing Om Namah Shivaya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hey, well, listen, everybody. If you call it Shivratri or if you call it Shivaratri, we still love you. Just want to make sure you know that.
All right. Shall we get in? Should we
Let's
get
do it. Let's do it.
Okay, everybody. So what we always love to start with are just some mantras to invoke our gurus and all of the great masters that have walked the path before us, that have blessed humanity with the perennial dharmic teachings. And so we'll chant a few verses from the Guru Stotram to open the gates. Om Akanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru who revealed to me the supreme truth, which is unfragmented, infinite, timeless divinity, and which pervades the entire universe.
Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru who opened my eyes, which had been blinded by the darkness of ignorance, by applying the divine ointment of self knowledge.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Guru is the creator, sustainer, and the destroyer. Guru is directly the supreme spirit, both manifest reality and the absolute. My reverential salutations to the glorious Guru who resides in the hearts of all beings as the true self.
Hari Om. Bolo Shri Sat Gurudev Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Jai Hanuman. Jai Gurudev. All right. So this leads us into our very verse of the Hanuman Chalisa, which we do each podcast, where we try to unpack it and have some good reflection on what its meaning is. Because remember, Neem Karoli Baba said every line of the Hanuman Chalisa is a Maha Mantra. Try.
Maha Mantra.
Wait, what do you mean, Mr. Shivratri?
I don't know. You just really gave that
Oh,
accent. You really gave
no.
Maha Mantra. It just really gave it a good accent there.
Mr. Shivratri, I'm Mr. Maha Mantra.
Maha Mantra.
All right.
I'm sorry. I was just waiting, for an opportunity. I was listening. It was you were doing the whole
Give me the
Buddhist
business,
outro.
dude. You give me the business.
I was just waiting for something, and then you said Maha Mantra.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So we have this amazing, amazing line today. I mean, every single one of them are amazing. But some pop out more than others for us, depending on our inner evolve, right? And I know for me, this one is really, really powerful and deep. So, first of all, the English. By taking refuge in Hanuman, one gains all delight. Those you protect know no fear. Let me say it again. By taking refuge in Hanuman, one gains all delight. Those you protect know no fear. The Avadi. Sab sukha lahe, tumhari sharana, Tuma rakshaka kahu ko dharana. Once again, Sabasukalahe Tumari Sharana Tuma Rakshaka Kahu Ko Dharana. All right, brother, lay it on us. What is this? What is this one all about?
This one really spells out to me in this moment right now, like what Bhakti Yoga is all about. The essence of Bhakti Yoga, the path, which is surrendering, and the goal, which is that living in fear. I mean, living with no fear, living in that realm of sabasukha, of all delights, all the sweetness, all the goodness that life has to offer. And you know, taking refuge also is surrendering. And surrendering, of course, in the like in the outside world, in the material world, let's say, is seen as a bad thing. It means you lost, right? But maybe from a bhakti point of view, we can kind of twist that a little bit, and we can say, why are you surrendering? And you can say, because I'm lost. You know, it's not like you lost a game, but you're lost amidst the maya of the material world. And what can you do? You can only say, Great Spirit, God, Hanuman, you know, I give it over to you. I surrender to you because I can't I can't navigate all this craziness. And what Tulsidas is telling us here, and what of course the the all the bhakti saints and um, sincere practitioners that came before us have told us, is that through this surrender, you know, you don't you don't get relegated to like no trophy. It's not like the team that lost just has to go home with their tail between their legs. No, the one in bhakti who truly surrenders, which by the way, just for the record, I'm speaking hypothetically because, have I truly surrendered? No way. Would I like to? And do I aspire to? Yes, absolutely. But the one who does, Tulsidas is telling us, what more could you ask for than to have all the delights in the world and be fearless? I mean, really, like what more could you ask for? Can you think of anything else that you would ask for besides living a fearless life with all the delights and wonders that the world has to offer?
Sounds pretty good. Wow.
That was not a rhetorical question. That was an actual question.
Oh, it was an actual question.
Yes, yes.
Having all the delights one has, you have sabasukalahe. I mean, that just feels so good. If we could just live like that, just in delight. And we're getting a clear prescription by surrendering, by taking refuge in Hanumanji. And I look at the second part where the fear, I mean, to have no fear. Fear since of being a little child has plagued my life.
Mm.
And I noticed as I started getting into spirituality and getting into psychedelics, the awareness of that became very clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fear. Why aren't you doing what you want to do in life? It's because you're afraid. And here you surrender, you take refuge, and there's going to be no more of that. You can go live your life. You can go do whatever you want to do, and that fear will never plague you because you feel like you're always protected by Hanumanji. You're always wrapped in Maharaji's blanket. Two promises that are just really, really hit me hard. Like that's why I said at the beginning, I just love this line so much because, and from the first part, we all want to be happy. I mean, even the Dalai Lama said this is the goal of human life, is to be happy. So if we surrender, that means if we don't chase outside things, the things we think are going to make us happy, the new car, the new job, the new sex partner, the new wardrobe. This is what our culture has conditioned us, that you do these, get these, you accumulate these, acquire these external things. And this is where you're going to find happiness. If you can just piece enough of these together throughout your day, you're always going to be happy. You just go from one thing, from the ice cream cone to buying a new pair of shoes to having sex with somebody new to going and buying a new car to going to an amusement park to playing some video games. If you can just piece enough of those things together, you're gonna have sabasuka.
No.
No.
Wow.
It happens. It's an inner job, not an outer job. And the inner job is to turn our lives over to Hanuman. But that to me is the question. How do you turn your life over? How do you actually, the nitty-gritty of it, can we crack the nut open? Like, how do you actually do that?
Oh gosh. All I'm thinking of as you're asking me this, I was like, I wish I knew. Oh, I wish I knew. I mean, I could tell you what the sage, maybe I could tell you what the saints say. I could tell you what the
That's a great start. What did the
Bhakti.
saints say?
Repeat the name, Ram. Sing the praises. We we can look at the Yoga Sutras. We can look at the Bhakti Sutras. We can associate with those who are also on the path, and especially associate with high beings, associate with those who have surrendered or who are maybe further along the path than us. I think this is one of those things, though. I think we have this feeling that surrender is going to come as this fell swoop moment where we're just going to fall to our knees and say, I surrender. And then it's just going to be sabasuka. And then it's just going to be no fear, I think it's just more like I don't know. It's just it's a surrender over and 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 over. And slowly but inevitably is that we start to, get there. I was thinking, speaking of the sutras, as you were talking, I was thinking about how many of the sutras, like when they're talking in the yamas and the niyamas, like that literally by non-stealing, asteya, it's said that everything comes to you, so it's kind of like it's this line, and this idea of surrendering and taking refuge is kind of has that like oxymoron or paradox kind of feeling about it. It's like, you stop striving for stuff and then the stuff comes, but I love, like, just to take it back to like asteya, for example, the non-stealing, is that is non-stealing is more than just not like, shoplifting, but it's even like living in gratitude, because some of the yogis will say that if you aren't grateful for even the breath and aren't grateful for the food that you eat, and that's stealing, that you're like stealing the I'm trying to think. There's also a line in the what
Line in the Gita that says that.
there's a line in the Gita that says the same exact thing, that those who kind of take from the devas without giving back, or even
Without making
making without making offerings, is that they're stealing. you know but there's kind of those, and I feel like this one's that same thing, is that like by giving over our self to Hanuman and saying, Hanuman, I can't do it, you do it, you protect me, which of course, like, especially as, I don't know, especially as like a man in the West, I mean, we're the protectors, right? What do you mean Hanuman's going to protect me? No, I'm gonna go out and get a gun, and I'm gonna build a big fence, and it's just so like such the opposite. But yet, that getting that gun and that big fence, it does the opposite too. It doesn't make you feel protected. It makes you even feel more afraid, I would imagine. And it doesn't bring Sabasuka, because no one even wants to get near that crazy guy up on the hill with the do not enter, no trespassing signs, you know? Um, so, so it's kind of like there's this little bit of a riddle, I think, in the idea of surrendering, especially to us in the West. What do you think? How do you go about surrendering?
I the quote from the Gita, I think, is so powerful about this prison, this self-made prison of I, me, and mine.
Mm.
And I think that's what surrendering is about. As I'm just in this moment, this sort of a light bulb going off, that I think of myself as the doer, that I'm doing this, and what am I going to do today? And this is my property, and this is my car, and this is my money. And um, and this sort of egoic identification. And as you said, these practices of, you know, japa, repetition, Nam Sankirtan, Hanuman Chalisa, doing seva, association, satsanga, um, Guru Kripa, all of these practices help us to shift out of that I, me, mineness, small identification, and access a higher power, and call it Sitaram, call it Hanumanji, whatever name it is that you want to put on that one higher power.
Mm.
And as we surrender that identity, as we let go of that small self identity and know that we are a ray of God's light, that our spirit is perfectly connected to divinity. So I'm not thinking of myself as an ego anymore, as my preference, as my body, as my emotions, as the story I tell myself. You know, as I shift out of that small self false identification with the ego and begin to open up that I'm a spirit soul perfectly connected to God, I open that doorway, that space for grace that we love to talk about. And that light just fills our heart with with its qualities, Satchit Ananda, joy, bliss, beingness, truth, consciousness. It's so much more spacious than this limited way of living that's so tight and so fragile. And from that bigger place and identity, which is again, it's zooming out, big time zooming out, it's nothing can harm us because we're a part of God. And divinity is perfect. Wherever it is in any moment, we are being held and taken care of and protected by divinity, even if from the that's how if something terrible happens to somebody and somebody comes to them, I'm so sorry, I can't believe that's happened to you. And then that spiritual person would say something like, it's all God's grace. Because they have that faith that nothing is wrong ever. Everything is in the realm of divinity unfolding, and that's perfect. So that's kind of what's coming up for me. That's what I'm trying to live like. Damn, am I unsuccessful at it? Minded by my wife and my kids all the time, you know. But I think there's one last thing I was going to say that I think is critical to this is that um it just slipped away, but it felt like a key piece to this.
Well,
Anyway,
while you're thinking of it, I had a thought about
please.
another element that I think is really important to this, and I kind of touched on it a moment ago, is I think that in this idea of taking refuge and surrendering is that patience. Patience is a really big piece of this because the ego is so freaking strong. And as I've been talking about a lot in the Chalisa sadhana these last few weeks, and it's been this thing that I keep coming up with, it's not just strong, it's sneaky. The ego has so many faces, which is why the 10 heads of Ravana is such a great metaphor for the egoic personality, because it has so many ways. It's always looking for a crack. It's always looking for an opening. And I had this, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed this is that when I have the deeper moments of revelation of surrender, and so the perfect example is I was mentioning that on Sunday during however you say it, Shivaratri, the cell of the Maha great night of Shiva, which as I was meditating on Sunday and thinking about Shiva, and I had a real like a real huge big opening, like my consciousness really expanded, and I had this feeling of real deep freedom, and I've noticed that oftentimes that right immediately following those experiences, it's almost like it's like a big high and then it's like a crash. It's like because I feel like the ego panics in those moments or something is the easiest way to describe it, is that, and then and it comes in hard. So I've noticed that oftentimes when I have those moments, that then I have to be patient through the kind of I don't know, the it's like if there's a big bomb and there's something got transformed, right? There'd be like that moment, or there'd be like that few days afterwards where everything kind of has to settle, or like the dust has to settle or something. And those moments can be really, at least for me, can be really challenging. So like to be patient, to be able to go, yeah, no, I know I had that moment. I know that my ego is panicking right now and is trying to drag me back down. But if I can be patient and figure out, and be willing to allow this feeling to, here I go, to integrate, I don't know. I mean, have you ever had that? Do you have that experience ever when like following like some kind of opening, then there's some challenges immediately come in?
I, I have experienced that before, but I also experienced Monday morning. Sunday night was Shivaratri.
Yeah.
Monday morning, I woke up, I felt so hungover.
Ah,
Because I
interesting.
had I had one of those same openings too. It was, and I love what you said. I wouldn't have put those words to it, but now I felt that spiritual freedom,
Mm,
which meant I just feel as vast as consciousness itself.
yeah.
And there was so much freedom in that, right? We in material world reality, we think of freedom as something completely different. But this freedom was as vast as the universe itself, because I think we probably both hooked into that Shiva who is
That is. Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
But I woke up Monday morning like, what just hit me over the head?
Ah,
Like, so yeah, but I know where you're coming from with that. I know where you're coming with that. That
mm.
post big opening, sometimes the ego says, oh no, you're
You're not the vast consciousness.
don't get ahead of yourself. You're not there yet. Come back here. You're stay with me.
I know your secrets.
Um,
Well,
but
anyway.
there was this other thing that I came back to me. What you were saying is about surrender, and this is the big piece that I look at. Um, that 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 Swami Shivananda, you will experience the grace in your life to the degree that you've surrendered.
Mhm.
Which I get, it's not a black and white thing. It's not like I've surrendered and it's all over,
Yeah.
but it's more of a verb. It's
Surrendering.
are in the process. I said the word process, but we are in the process of surrendering. And that may show itself as moments of like you feel it, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Mhm.
And and I know you've experienced divine grace in your life. And I certainly feel like I have as well too. And to the degree, but
Yeah.
there's so much more left. But it's a process and
Mhm.
it's a verb and it's happening. And even just talking about it, I think helps us move in that direction.
Yeah. So that reiterates what I was just saying about patience.
Yeah.
Is that we can't we if we expect that overnight, you know, Shaktipat experience of just I'm enlightened, you know. Um, I think that's super duper rare. Not that it can't happen. I mean, I still sometimes, when I'm praying at my altar, I say, "Hey, if you want to, if I'm ready, if you think I'm ready for that, Hanuman, I'll be happy to take it."
I'm reminded of Krishna Das's quote though, that that you don't really want it, that we don't really want it.
Oh yeah, right. That
If
if
we really wanted it, we'd be doing everything we really could to make it happen.
right, we'd leave our families, yeah, we'd.
We'd stop playing our silly games that we right? If we really wanted it. So there's a part of us that we don't even want it.
That's so good. I'm so glad you reminded us of that Krishna Das quote. Uh, just to make sure everybody knows what we're talking about is that somebody said to Krishna Das on one of his satsangs, they said something like, I really want to practice every day, but I just can't seem to get the willpower or whatever. And he says, no, you don't want to practice every day. What do you mean? No, I do. I really want to practice every day. And he says, if you wanted to practice every day, you would practice every day. and that's such an eye opener, isn't it? Just that concept. So if
And
we
if
really,
we really wanted to practice with burning enthusiasm to really surrender or get enlightened or whatever it may be, but we just want to keep playing our silly games.
yeah.
Right?
And then as Ram Dass said, your problem is you're too busy holding on to your unworthiness.
Oh,
And and just holding on to those that but again, that I think that
that was an LSD hit right there, man.
it was, and it is, and I think it's super powerful, because that, this is the thing too about the ego, is everyone thinks of the ego as like puffed up, self-important, and that's the different faces of the ego. That's just one face of the ego. The other face of the ego is the woe is me face. And the other face of the ego is like, I don't have enough. And the other face of the ego is like, I've got more than everybody. Look how great I am. And, it's like that
Other
simultaneous.
face of he goes, I'm not scared of anything. And the another face is, I'm so afraid, I'm so anxious to walk outside.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's happening simultaneously.
Right. Do.
It's like, you're a piece of junk. You're the best in the world. It's all happening simultaneously. Oh man. So, but yeah, you're right. I think so when I do have that occasional prayer at the altar, Baba Maharaji is just shaking his head. He's giving me that look. He's probably giving me like this kind of look. And he's like, yeah, you don't really even want it. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not going to give you a Shakti pot. Not only are you not ready for it, you don't even want it.
There's nothing outside the law of karma.
Wow. Yeah. So here we are, just burning it off best we can, trying not to create too much in the meantime. Hey, so speaking of hits, are we ready for a hit, or what do you think?
Hey.
Have we wrapped up? Because I got a great dose of LSD for you today.
Let me just take a deep cleansing breath.
So I noticed you used the word process a few times. Are you a processor?
I'm an integrator.
Oh, you're an integrator. Yeah, me too. I'm more of an integrator, less of a processor. But I was thinking with the next round of the Hanuman Chalisa sadhana, is that we need to have 10 minutes at the end of each session where we integrate everything.
I think it would be a good thing, though, to talk about it, and let's process it a little bit, and it could help. It could help.
Integration session.
Integration session.
Okay, so guys, just so you know, we're not talking about drugs.
Drugs? Are psychedelics drugs? I call it medicine, baby.
Okay, we're not talking about medicine. We're not talking about medicine that you ingest physically either. We are talking about love, service, and devotion. And
OG LSD.
The OG LSD. In every episode, we like to take at least one hit. We've already taken 2 or 3 hits so far. And guess what, guys? You can't overdose. No. You cannot overdose. In fact, you can't get enough. You can't get enough. The more, the merrier. But guess what Ram Dass said? He sent me an email this morning.
Sent you an email?
Yeah. He sent me an email this morning. And it said, Dear Rob, Dear Ramachandra Das,
I thought Ram Dass left his body 4 years ago.
Yeah, but just because you leave your body doesn't mean you have to stop sending emails. Oh man, it's all just energy. They say it's all just energy. So anybody wants to tune into this, actually, it's Ram Dass's Love Serve Remember Foundation sends out words of wisdom. So you can go to the website there and sign up for that. So you get these too, don't you? The words of wisdom. They're good, right? Why not?
Great. I have to be honest, not every day do I read them, but Some days I open it and the thousands of emails that seemingly come through every day. But I'm sure glad to see his name every day.
Yeah, and I don't always read it either, especially if it's like 4, 5, 6 paragraphs or something, But today was a straight up shot of LSD, and it says we can be righteous, but we cannot be righteous and be one with God.
Mm.
Wow. We can be righteous, but we cannot be righteous and be one with God. What is he talking about, Govindas?
Well, I love that. It
Hmm.
kind of goes back to what I was just sharing about this identification with the small self. Because anytime we think we are right, it is just it's a fantasy of the ego. And I think this is a really, really important time in the world where there is so much hatred and finger pointing and you know protesting and everybody has a right to do that. But there was also a quote from Ram Dass that's a sort of a second dose. He says, "Do you want to be right or do you want to be free?"
Hmm.
But I think in Kali Yuga and a very materialistic, ego-based centered time of life in this world, people don't want to be free. People don't want to be one with God. They want to be right.
Yeah.
That what they believe to be true is the final outcome. And I get that because I see that in myself from my egoic perspective. But from another perspective, zooming out, I see and feel that I could choose to go that direction, but a more optimal way to live for me is to choose to be an equanimous force and a force, not force, but a presence of love and unity. That's what I'm choosing. Not am I always like that, but that's my choice is to be that instead of posting on Instagram what I believe is right. And again, everybody has the right to do that. I'm just choosing from my zoomed out perspective what is the right thing for me. And I think and everything is so stirred up in the world right now and everything is so and maybe that's why they Ram Dass sent you that email today because he knows everybody is really getting triggered with all of the political stuff and all of the on and on we're getting bombarded by this stuff at this point in the world, and I think this is a really relevant truth that is, I don't want to say overlooked, but people are ignorant of it, meaning they don't even understand. They've never heard anything. They're just reacting to their, what they're attached to, and that's the ego. So these are just some thoughts.
Hmm.
How about yourself?
Well, I was just thinking about the difference between maybe righteous and to be right, you know. So is because we also say we talk about Ram, right? We say we came to restore righteousness. Um, you hear that expression a lot. And so I think this is a kind of a loaded word, because um, does you know does righteous mean like that you need to make other people agree with you, or, you know, because as a recovering know-it-all, I used to know everything, but I'm in recovery. Now I don't know anything.
Anything I know is I don't know.
That's the only thing and even
That's
that
right.
I'm not even.
In that club, the RKIA club, Recovering Know It All Club. The mantra, let's gather together at
Yeah.
our
The
meetings and let's repeat our mantra together. The only
only thing I know is that I don't know.
RKIA.
Yeah. Well, so I was just thinking about how much unhappiness and unfreedom, or, lack of freedom, and even anger that I used to experience when I knew I was right about something and I couldn't convince everybody else at the dinner table or whoever, wherever I'm having this conversation. I used to get so riled up. And it just
You
like
walked into the dinner pissed off. Honey, wasn't that a nice gathering? No, it sucked.
God, it sucked. They were all a bunch of
Didn't believe
idiots,
me. They didn't agree with what I felt. I'm never going to dinner back then.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
let's go
man.
back next week so we can argue with them.
Yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. Anyway, I just think about how much and how like disconnected I would feel after those, because we're talking about this, like this, you don't want to feel like connection with God. Basically, so do you want to feel connected or do you want to feel righteous, but I was just trying to think about what's the difference, because I think you can be right, because there are some truths, and but the righteousness maybe is that part that like wants to that needs everybody else to agree or something like that. uh I don't know. This one's triggering me a little. This one's triggering me a little bit.
Did Ram Dass speak about this? Like righteousness is the law of Dharma, right? Righteousness, the law of goodness. What's really right? What's universally right and good? But then self-righteousness is small s righteousness is the belief what we think is right.
So to be righteous is that small.
Self-righteous.
Right, but because he says in this one, he says, "Do you want to be do you want to be righteous?" Or here, let's just
Okay. Yeah.
read it again. He says, "We can be righteous, but we cannot be righteous and be one with God." So I think that's what he's talking about, is this self-righteousness.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, you can do it. You can do it, but you might not. But like I was thinking about how unfree I felt in those moments when nobody was, when I felt like everyone's so stupid, no one's listening to me. Don't they see the truth? It's so obvious, like, this crunchy constriction coming up in me. And how, when I heard that Ram Dass quote for the first time, you can either be right or you can be free, I was like, it really, a bell really went off and the light bulb went on in that moment. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I really love this. And I think it's another sort of tribute to, like, do you want to live in your ego or do you want to experience that spiritual freedom that we were riffing on?
And I think, what you're saying, but back to Krishna Das's quote, is I think most people know they want to be right.
They want to be right.
They want to be right, and so when you say to them, uh, like somebody who's really determined that their cause is the cause, and they just won't stop until they convince everybody else that, they may convince everybody else of their cause, but with this quote and what what I'm feeling is that, but they won't experience connection with divinity. They won't, how do you think this flies in the face of like what Gandhi did?
Well, I think Gandhi was, this is a time that we're living in right now where we're being faced with all of these kinds of questions.
Yeah.
It's, can you stand up for what you believe in and not do it from a place of anger or
Mm.
violence or hatred? Can you still have what did Krishna say to Arjuna? You got to go into the battle. So that means you got to choose what you believe to be right, but can you walk with that in a place of just equanimity? And still, I think the key is see the light within all, where you don't hate the other side so much that you've demonized and you've covered them as an evil so that you don't recognize the spiritual light, because namaste is the light lives in everyone.
Hmm.
The light lives in all. And I just think another the LSD of all LSD hits by Ram Dass is, and I think this is the quote for our times, and this is just my feeling, is the greatest service you can offer to anyone else is work on yourself. So, to me, this is like so important in this time that we're living in. Instead of, I don't even want to say instead of, do what you're going to do. Go protest and picket and um, stand for what you believe in. But don't lose sight of the light in all, even the other side, one, and two, keep working on yourself. What do you think?
Hmm. Well, I love so much of what you were saying, and I agree, especially in regards to um, when we do stand up for what we believe, if we can do it from a place of equanimity, if we can do it from a place of love, actually, really from of love, you know, because even the most noble causes that maybe even the basis for why somebody might feel some way is is like because they care about humanity, and there's the core of it is love. But if we come out you know with um with too much anger in our hearts, um then it doesn't feel like love. you know and it doesn't what I love about some of those, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Bhagavad Gita and the war, and like, yeah, you got to go out there and fight. So like, you can't say even like that violence, because here's Krishna telling him, literally, you got to pull the bow and the arrow and fire that arrow and kill those beings, those people. But I was thinking about so many times in the war, uh, which I keep talking about the Ramesh Menon book. But like when these in these battles between these great kshatriyas like Arjuna and Karna, or Arjuna and Drona, and all these different individual battles that are going on within this huge war, there's like the love and respect that these guys have for each other is crazy. Like they're literally like marveling at each other's skill, and they're marveling at each other's, and they're feeling, I'm so sad that I have to, kill this beautiful warrior, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm just trying to think about how we, how we can, I don't know, accept that metaphor of the battlefield, because as you know, this is something that comes up all the time with the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know. Is this anything I'm saying bring up anything for you, Govindas? I don't know. I'm just talking in circles now.
Thinking of when you were saying, I was thinking of Martin Luther King, and he spoke with such passion. You listen to his speeches, and there was such an intensity. So, but it was love in action. That's what was driving it. And it never tipped over to the other side towards hate for the other. So I think that's kind of what you were talking about.
That's it. Yeah. Is that once the heart tips towards the hatred of the other, as you just described, then we've lost the essence of even the purpose of the battle from that's when now you're just creating more violence and more hatred.
That's it. You nailed it. The moment you hate, you're propagating more hate. And that tips us. The seesaw then tips. And you are not working as a unitive force and a force of love anymore, but you're working in the opposite direction. And I think I'm really happy we're having this conversation, because it's so present in our culture right now. I mean, I've never seen society like this. And I think as well, too, what we talk about all the time is that the yogis, society always, I mean, look, they lived outside of societies in the ashrams, in the forests, in the caves, but they always were regarded as of having a very important role in maintaining the balance within the culture, because it was their prayers upon unity and peace and love that helped to keep the forces even. So the work, I think, it's very easy, even amongst yogis, to get really stirred up and great, believe what you believe and get stirred up and be passionate. But the moment it turns towards hate and anger, you're just propagating more hate.
Yeah.
That's what we just have to be really careful with.
Yeah. I think love everyone is the key, even those you are fighting with, for just to use that again, to keep that, that battle metaphor, even those that you are fighting against. And I think that Martin Luther King is a perfect example, is that he was never, it was still love. And you couldn't feel any hatred coming out of him, even though it was passionate and it was strong. And it was a battle. Absolutely was a battle, and still continues to be a battle. But that's, to love everyone literally means even those that you are at war with. So it's a profound teaching. And I'm so glad that we have that as the backdrop of this podcast, because because there's no place that it doesn't, come into play.
And I think where this is all tying back to this quote, this LSD hit, is if you are in that state of self-righteousness, you are losing the zoomed out perspective that this is the grand design. Because the grand design is in everything, right? Nothing is outside of it. From the spiritual perspective, God's presence is in everything. But the moment you go into your self-righteousness, you can't be one with God because you've lost the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think how can you love someone that you're fighting against? Well, if you are in the zoomed out perspective and you see the bigger picture, that it's all God and this is just the Leela that's taking place, you can still love that person that you're fighting. But if you are in the zoomed in perspective and you're so zoomed in that it's your ego, you've lost connection to that, and then you're just going to hate that person.
Yeah.
So I don't know, a lot to chew
So
on.
you can't be self-righteous and be in yoga
Yeah.
at the same time.
You mean that you can't go touch your toes or do warrior two and be so
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
in yoga, isn't that what?
Be in I think our crew here that's listening knows that yoga is more than touching their toes. But in case you don't, yoga is more than touching your toes. For the record.
What you learn on the way down to touch your
You
toes.
do, you do. Or on the way up or while you're down there, or hopefully you learn. Well, anyway, wow, that's great. I think we opened up a couple of doors. At least I feel I love this idea of just, and that was kind of why I brought up the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna's like, wow, he is amazing. Wow, look at this guy that's literally firing arrows at me. He is so beautiful and so talented, and I love him so much, and he's my guru. And da 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 da. He's like, yeah, but you know what? The big picture is, I got to put an arrow through his and he wouldn't have been there if he hadn't had experienced the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't there. He was all in the zoomed in perspective at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, but by the end of it, he goes, I see. Okay. So,
And I'm not really even killing him because I can't kill him, right?
yeah,
Because his body may die, but the true self of him is
yeah.
can't be killed by an arrow.
Well, that's a whole nother subject. We're going to have to leave that to the next podcast. But hey, we should wrap it up, brother. Oh
What time
man,
is it? What time?
it just time just flies by. It's almost one. It's we're
Right now. It's here and
it's
now.
it's here and now. What time is it?
It's now.
It's now.
Where are we? Right?
Here. Well, I'm in Costa Rica.
The Costa Rica, Seattle.
Costa
Costa
Rica.
Rica.
Costa Rica. Ah. Oh my gosh. Hey everybody, come join us in Bali. We're going to be in
Bali.
Bali in a few weeks. There's still
Month
space.
away?
Huh?
A little bit over
A
a month.
month, about a month. Yeah, we'll be in Bali, and there's still space. We'd love to
Spots?
have you out
Couple
there.
spots.
Huh?
Is there a couple spots left? I think a few, right?
Yeah, yeah. We got. If you want to be there, we're gonna make it happen. So give us a shout. So
Bali, the
ah,
restoration.
I love it there. Can't wait.
Join us. We're going to be chanting and dancing and
And chanting
meditating
and
and
dancing again.
Dancing.
food, the swimming
Oh,
pool.
good. Good.
So many benefits. So many benefits. All right, listen, let's finish up with some closing prayers. Oh, thank you, everybody, for being here. What a blessing it is to be able to spend time with you like this and share our hearts, share these amazing teachings. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
May all beings, including ourselves, be happy, be well, and be free from suffering. May all of our thoughts, may all of our words, and may all of our actions in some way contribute to that happiness, that well-being, and that freedom from suffering for all, including ourselves, including ourselves, including ourselves.
Love everyone, serve everyone, feed everyone, and remember God.
Jai Rama Chandra ki,
Jai,
Bhavana Sutta Hanuman ki,
Jai,
Sankata Mochan Hanuman ki,
Jai.
Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Lakshman ki.
Hey. Oh, thank you, brother. I love being here with you.
Oh, thank you, brother. Love being here with you and everybody listening. Thank you so much for being a part of episode 25 Love Everyone podcast.
Jai Shri Ram.
See you next time, everybody. Thank you so much.
Jai Hanuman.
Ta-da!
Jai Ram.